Hello, this is Scott Manley again, and I'm taking a quick break from posting Kerbal Space Program and Eve videos to look at another spaceship-themed game, Lunar Flight. Now I must confess that the owner, Sean Edwards, sent me a copy of this many months ago, and I tried to put together a review back then, but it kind of got lost in the mess, and when I saw it that this morning it was selling at 75% off on Steam, I really felt that I had to finally deliver on my original intent to share this. So yeah, Lunar Flight. It's entirely concerned with flying lunar modules over the surface of the moon. The developers have taken the basic theme behind the coin-op classic Lunar Lander and dressed it up in a whole lot of modern-day shiny with some really nice 3D graphics, immersive audio, missions, upgrades, and achievements. The vehicle in this game is clearly modelled on the lunar landers, and the instruments feel like they're from the 1980s, so it's almost like NASA just kept going to the moon and didn't let things like budgets get in the way. So there are moon bases scattered all over the moon, and your job is to deliver cargo, collect data, locate supplies on the lunar surface using your trusty spaceship. Well, I mean, it's not really a spaceship since you can't actually fly it into space. It's more like a space tugboat. I mean, it looks great in the same way that a working vehicle can, but unlike the rockets in Kerbal Space Program, you can tell that it's been designed with a purpose in mind by someone who actually knows how to make a working vehicle. It features a control system that provides a full 6 degrees of freedom and delivered by reaction control thrusters, which are all conveniently mapped to a standard Xbox gamepad. Once you get used to the controls, it really is a wonderfully intuitive method of controlling things, unlike a Kerbal Space Program where I feel like I'm playing the piano when trying to work the RCS during an orbital rendezvous. Presentation-wise, I feel compelled to use the word atmospheric, even though we are flying over an airless world. The graphics aren't using the latest technology by any means, but we are in deep space and lighting really is harsh. Edges are well defined. It lends it graphical solidity. There are subtle graphical effects that help with the immersion, like the lighting catching on the end of your viewports when you're burning your engines, and the dust that gets kicked up when you're close to the surface. Also, the crashes are beautiful in their own tragic way. Audio extends the atmosphere with radio chatter borrowed from NASA, mixed by ambient electronic music. If you've ever listened to Soma FM's Mission Control channel, then you'll know how cool this can be. The actual vehicle noises are largely limited to rockets firing when things are going well, or warning sound and sparking electronics when they start to go wrong. The music also takes a turn to the dramatic when you start running out of fuel, adding to the suspense as you try to get back to base on nothing more than fumes. There's a few different viewing angles that the game provides to let you survey the situation. You can do everything from the interior cockpit view, which does a pretty good attempt at recreating the environment of the Apollo landers, although I feel compelled to point out that those tiny windows were designed with the notion that the pilots would be standing up with their heads right up against the glass, giving them a nice wide field of view. It was a design trick that they used to save the weight on big cockpit canopy and pilot seats. Smart people, those rocket scientists. There's an external view which will make the Kerbal space pilots happy, a pretty but largely cosmetic flyby camera, and some specialised angles to help you land. But most of the time you'll probably be using this 4-way display that gives you all the important angles at once, including access to the ship's computer in the bottom left. All the views are full of instrumentation with displays that are well thought out and provide invaluable at all times, supplying feedback to your flying. This is a huge step up from what Jeb Kerman has to work with, and you really feel like you're flying a well thought out piece of technology rather than something thrown together by some amateur like myself. But the most important instrument is the multifunction computer display that can show you the maps, vehicle status, and of course the missions. Missions are how you make money. With the money you can pay for essential stuff like fuel and repairs, or for new features like upgrades to your engines, or special features like stabilizers and reserve fuel tanks. And once you're an expert, you can buy access to the harder levels, where the bases are further apart and in more challenging locations such as deep inside lunar canyons. There's 3 mission types. Cargo delivery involves carrying cargo from one base to another, where the mass of the cargo will affect your ship's agility. A variant on the cargo delivery mission is locating the lost cargo on the surface of the moon using a transponder to help you locate it. Once you're close enough, you land on the surface and can then bring it back to base. The third mission type is the data survey, where you fly to some location on the surface and have to stay close to it, hovering, while your computer gathers information for the boffins back in the lab. There are also time trials with online leaderboards and other subtle things like a bonus for flying missions using only the cockpit view. In the end, it's a really nicely presented package, albeit a small one. It does one thing and it does it really well, and if you like flying spaceships low over planets, this deserves your attention for a little while. Lunar Flight by Shavsoft is available on Steam and Azura. See you out there and fly safe.